Well, that leads me to ask you about President Obama and his performance thus far. He's, of course, running for re-election. Some supporters of President Obama are a bit disappointed. They would have liked him to be more transformational, something that many spoke of when he ran and when he won, that he would be transformational, perhaps. Why do you think, what factors do you think have inhibited him from doing maybe more in a more bold fashion that he would have liked?
Well, look, first of all, he's a transformational figure in one respect because he's the first African-American president. Secondly, he's a transformational figure in the sense that at least he's undone some of the damage that was done by the preceding president. But he's a cautious guy. He's an establishment guy. He is a guy dependent on this kind of money. And his entire presidency has been marked by major initiatives in which, even if he had a big idea at the beginning, he often deferred to somebody else, whether it's the Congress or an international coalition, to formulate an approach in which he would then sort of buy into at the end. And almost always when you use that kind of an approach and you're looking for the compromise and you're sort of practicing politics as the art of the possible, you end up with underwhelming consequences. Now, look, I could make a case that here's a president who restored America's standing in the world, got America to leave Iraq, will get America to leave Afghanistan, got Osama bin Laden, got al-Awlaki, got Gaddafi out of Libya, passed a health care law, bailed out the auto industry, stopped the country from, the kind of catastrophe that we were on the verge of. That's a pretty good record, and I don't think we should minimize it. But I think a lot of his supporters, including myself, were hoping that we would go steps further. And I think, frankly, for a lot of us, as you sort of look forward to the election, the question is going to be, what kind of president will Barack Obama be in a second term when he doesn't have to run again? It's why, there was this gaffe this week where he was speaking on an open mic to Medvedev, the Russian, and he said, well, I'll have a lot more flexibility after the election. Please be patient. And it's one of those classic, gaffes in American politics where somebody is accidentally speaking the truth in public. He will have more flexibility, and it'll be interesting to see what that leads to.
Well, I wonder, though, David, will he indeed have that much flexibility? For example, if he does win, and we don't know, but it looks more likely given the problems the Republicans are having, even in coming up with a nominee, won't he be under some severe political constraints? For example, if the House of Representatives stays in the Republican hands, what if the Republicans win in the Senate? Then we'll still have a divided government.
Look, it's not going to be easy for him. I think even if the Democrats win a few more seats in the Senate, and even if they win a few more seats in the House, the way the structure of the Congress is right now promotes dysfunction. We still have a problem in the United States where congressional districts are gerrymandered so that 90% of incumbents win. And what that means is that most of the action happens in primary elections. And primary elections are controlled by the extreme right and the extreme left. And that means you end up with candidates that are more polarized, and it's very hard to achieve compromise. Having said that, presidents that don't have to run for re-election can stick their neck out, can fight the Congress a little bit harder, can take on tougher issues, can do things that are less popular. There's a lot that a president can do with executive orders, and there's a lot a president can do with the bully pulpit, and he's a good communicator. So, look, I think we're foolish if we expect presidents to be, knights on white horses riding into town and transforming everything around them. Most presidents are less good than we hoped and less bad than we fear, but second-term presidents do have the ability to be a little bit bolder than first-term presidents.